My name is Prashant Tiwari. I'm from India. I'm working here since last year and it will be coming a year here and I'm as a waiter working here. I was completed my hotel management from government college. That's name is Rohilkhand University. That is very famous in India. So after that I joined in Saudi Arabia as a team leader. I worked there and then I was in UAE also, and this is my third country in Bosnia, and this is a fun from my 4 years experience. This country will be better for me now, so that's a good opportunity for me to work here. This country, when I had offered about that country, so I just check about that and I see the people's weathers and everything. So I like the mostly weather and peoples here. They are so friendly, they are so helpful. Even I don't know Bosnian, but they help me. Sometimes I tell them sasti, so they help me don't say ti, this is a word for when you are in hospitality sector, so you need to use we. So they are so friendly and it's easy. That's the difference the another countries into Bosnia. They are so friendly and that's why I'm here and it's so easy to survive me here. You can say kako si, dobrovi, these all words I know mostly, yeah.
Prashant Tiwari slides cappuccinos across a Sarajevo cafe counter, thousands of kilometers from his home in India. He's one of the 5,000 workers that came to Bosnia in 2024. Hotels, restaurants, and factories now rely on newcomers like Prashant. Yet every visa, contract, and residency card still tests a system racing to keep up. In this episode, I speak about Bosnia's migration strategy, recruitment rules, integration, and what has been done so far with Prashant Tiwari, a waiter working in Sarajevo hospitality industry, Michael O'Mahony, Deputy IOM Chief of Mission for Bosnia and Montenegro, and Aida Terzic, Director of Hotel Pino Nature that employs foreign workers. Everybody, welcome to our Bosnia shows, where we'll be talking about foreign workers phenomenon in this country as part of a wider series we're filming in our region of the Western Balkans. With us here today is Mr. Michael O'Mahony, IOM Deputy Chief of Mission Bosnia and Herzegovina, Aida Terzic, Director of Hotel Pino Nature in Sarajevo, and Mr. Prashant Tiwari, a foreign worker from India who is employed here in Sarajevo. Welcome to Al Jazeera. Mr. O'Mahony, when we talk about Bosnia and this phenomenon, we have to go back a few decades back and actually recognize that Bosnia has been on a very changing path. So we can say a transition from a major source of gastarbeiters back in the 70s and 80s, then during the 1990s wars to a refugee exporter country and region as well, then post-2015 as a transit hub for illegal migration mostly, and now a destination for foreign workers. How should this complex legacy impact the way that Bosnia faces this phenomenon and handles everything that comes with it?
So I would answer that by outlining that this transition from a country where you have irregular migration and you have emigration, this trend now towards Bosnia and Herzegovina becoming a destination country is certainly a trend now that is becoming stronger and stronger. Now, the reasons behind that, I think, reflect what we see both economically and demographically with respect to the employment opportunities that are here within Bosnia and Herzegovina and the region as a whole. You also have a demographic issue where you have a large percentage of the population that's leaving behind a gap within the workforce where we require foreign labor. Now, traditionally, since 2015, 2016, Bosnia and Herzegovina has put into place a migration governance infrastructure that has been responsive primarily to irregular migration. This infrastructure now takes into account a collaborative effort by the Bosnia and Herzegovina government, relevant state actors, private sector, civil society organizations, organizations such as IOM, and lays the foundation, we think, in order to be able to build a sustainable structure whereby we can now focus on labor mobility and supporting labor mobility in order to meet the employer demands and the requirements for the state. I think as we move forward, what you see now is less of an emergency response effort by Bosnia-Herzegovina and more of a forward-looking, policy-driven, I would say evidence-based, policy-driven approach in order to support the economic development as well as, in many respects, look at a demographic renewal within the country. And this isn't only reflective of the needs here within BIH, also across the region as a whole. What we see across the Western Balkans is a joint understanding that whether one is dealing with economic development, EU accession, or the need in order to further or reverse demographic loss, that there has to be coordination and collaboration in order to address this particular issue.
And Mr. Tiwari, what made you choose Bosnia and Herzegovina as the country where you want to move to work and live?
Especially be honest, I didn't know about the Bosnia anything. But when I see the name, when I listen the name, I will check on Google about that. I see the populations, I see the weathers, and especially I like the weathers from Bosnia. Really, it's awesome. I love it. That's why I will extend my visa 1 year more. And here, I like the peoples and everyone. They are so friendly here. So that's why I see videos and everything about Bosnia, and then I will be selected that, yeah, it's the country it's for me.
But how did you even find out about Bosnia?
Actually, we have some consultancies in India. So I was finished my last job from Saudi Arabia. So I came in India, and then they contact me Prashant, are you ready to move there? I say, yeah, sure, why not? I will. Then I will give in our interviews, online interviews, and then the visa process, we go on the embassy of Bosnia. So there is just they ask some basic questions to us, and then after a week we get visa, and then we are coming here. I'm not alone, with me 7-8 friends, they are also coming with me. So it's the easy way to come here, and I love it, this country.
Mrs. Terzic, you represent another wheel in this whole puzzle. You come from an agency that exactly brings these workers to Bosnia. What are the main challenges and obstacles that you face through the entire process of recruiting foreign workers, from their initial arrival to their documentation, to finding work for them, etc.?
Actually, a little mistake. I don't come from the agency that brings the employees, but I come from the tourism sector as an owner of the tour operating agency and also owner of the hotel. And as I heard now, Mr. Prashanti, he thinks that the whole process is easy, but the problems we encountered during this employment, as we have in our hotel a few employees from Mauritius and a few from Bangladesh that are coming, and a few from Nigeria, we had such a big problem and such administrating problems with issuing all the documents before the employer comes actually to Bosnia when we can see him. So from the start, from the process, from the minute when we get the CV, from the CV and the first interview, which we have with the employer, it takes us around 3 to 4 months until we get all the work permits done. And then that's the time when we can send them the tickets, the flight tickets, arrange the accommodations and everything else. And even then, we still do not know what are the challenges until actually the employer comes to Bosnia. So basically, the most challenges are the length of this administrative process and the complexity and some of the things that still the government and us employees do not know, which all of the papers are needed. Sometimes we are sent back and forth to one institution, then back to another institution. We need one more paper, then we need to change this diploma. For example, we had a great offer for a man exactly like you who was working in Saudi Arabia, who was willing to come to Bosnia and as he finished his contract. And also we had a recommendation for him from our cook, from our previous worker, who said, this is the best guy, you will be so happy with him, he's a great worker, a great waiter. But then our government asked for a certificate that he has done a course as a waiter. He sent us some certificates that he has been working in some famous hotels, such as Four Seasons, such as Kempinski, which are the top high-end hotels, but that didn't work out. We could not do anything with these certificates. We needed proper certificates where they said that he did some courses, finished his courses, and their explanation was that we have too many people on our employment institute in Bosnia that do not have work. But that's also one trick. They are in the institutional, in the employment institution, but they are working somewhere abroad. They are still here on our bureau, on our employment institute. They are working somewhere on the black market, but they are there. And they have like thousands and thousands of waiters. We cannot employ new ones, but these ones are working on the black market. And that is one of the biggest problems, like this quota, which the government is sending and saying, okay, you can have the cooks unless we have them on the employment institute. You can have the housekeeping unless we don't have some there. And that was one of the biggest obstacles for us. And even though when the employers come here, we had some, for example, problems that some of them had recommendations, but they didn't fulfill our requirements. But then the easiest way was to leave them, because we had such we lost, for example, 4 months. These workers left their families, they came to Bosnia. You know, we have costs of the visas, costs of the accommodation, of the flights, and then we say, okay, you are not actually fulfilling our, our requirements, but we will you can do something else. For example, you cannot go in the kitchen, but you can go in the housing, and that's how we fill the gaps.
And do you think that there is, or do you feel that there is willingness from the state level to change these quotas and these rules that are making this whole process much more difficult for everybody?
That should be, because as I told you, that is one of the biggest problems, that some of the people, a lot of our Bosnian workers are still on the employment lists, like they don't have jobs, they are searching for jobs, but when you call them to come for an interview, you know what they tell us? Say that there is no work for me. Write down that I'm not hired. Why? Because they are working somewhere abroad, because they are working somewhere on the black market, and that needs to be stopped. If I call an employer once, twice, he refuses the job, take him off. Take him off the employment institute. Yeah. Why does he has to be on the government's back? And so we have then a gap where we have more people that would like to work. So it can be changed, I'm sure.
Mr. O'Mahony, can it be changed?
Well, the points that you've outlined, we're well aware of. There are policies in place, the strategy for migration. at the state level that reflect under Article 6 that there will be support extended for legal migration and integration of foreign labor. However, in practice, there are in place a number of these regulatory hurdles and these administrative delays that prevent that policy from being fully executed to its fullest advantage. We recognize that there is a lot more work that needs to be done in terms of intergovernment communication. We recognize that as a top priority, where you have relevant government stakeholders who are simply not collaborating as they should be in a timely fashion in order to address employers' requirements, but also most importantly to address legal migrants' requirements, to ensure that the process is undertaken in a timely basis. Now, moving forward, what we recognize is that a lot of this is going to be addressed first and foremost by a significant investment in improved data analysis, recognizing what the impact of the inability for these current regulations to work effectively is having economically on the marketplace. And we certainly see more of this feedback coming from employers who are both looking to attract and retain existing national staff, as well as looking at those particular gaps where they need foreign labor. And the level of support that's being extended at this point in order to enable them and enable employers such as yourselves to meet your requirements is simply not where it should be, we believe. And so further investments are required on that front. That said, we don't think that this is something specific to Bosnia and Herzegovina. We see that this is a growing issue across the Western Balkans, and we see greater levels of coordination. We recently had a joint statement in Budva with respect to an understanding across the Western Balkans countries that support for legal migration is a significant economic priority. And we would recognize that this level of engagement, both in terms of the requirements to meet the economic considerations, the requirements for governments in order to mainstream policies, will move in that direction based on economic pressures and based, I think, on what they are able to learn collaboratively as different countries within the Western Balkans are at different stages of this process.
And probably will then, the countries will then see that there is an economic benefit.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I want to reiterate that when we obtain our data and our research, we recognize that a lot of employers, as I mentioned earlier, are also looking to retain the personnel that they have here that are national, and that they really want to focus on specific gaps within their labor force that can be filled by highly skilled foreign labor. And so the information coming from the employers is that this inaction and this slow process that you've already outlined is having an economic impact on us. I think that message is resonating, and I think that there is a common consensus amongst the various government actors that now recognize that there needs to be a whole of government approach to legal migration. It's not exclusive to any particular government agency, and that's the direction that IOM is supporting.
Prashant, can I ask you, you told us that you wanted to come here and that you're loving it here. However, what, from your perspective, what could be improved in this process for either you at this moment living here and certain obstacles you might have while you're living here, or for new foreign workers coming into Bosnia? What should be made easier and better for them?
I understand, we came here, I think we given our interview in February 2024, and within 3 to 4 months, 4 months mostly, we came here. So for us, the process was so smooth, and if you hire someone, the laborers from the another country. So I think we need to just like make a process the visa, you know, when we are given our interviews, or like the contract. When we are given our interview, then we need to just wait like 1 month or mostly more than to see our contracts. Like we are workers, you know, ma'am. We are workers. We are searching not just one country. We are searching the different countries for the work. So we search better opportunities, and we have just limited time. Like we are finish our job and we are at the home like 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, sometime a year. We spend it at home. But if the process will be like when we are finished our interview, and after like a week we have the contracts, like you have that salary, and we are going like you have work hours and everything, there will be mentioned. So we are like happy to see that is as early as, because we have wishing to know about that. And also like we have the name of the company, so we will search on all of that. We are study about that, and we are asking if someone is there, like how was the company and everything. So this is be easy, like if the process will be going smooth, we have like contracts and everything be going easy and smooth here, and it's so provide peace for us, for the workers.
I understand.
So this is a main thing, like the contracts, and after that the visa process. These all things, it will be going, when it will be going a little bit time, it will be taking for the process. So it is very useful for us. Otherwise, like if, even you want to go in US, like we are living in India. So if we want to go US, so their process is so hard. Like when you are applying for visa, like if I want to work there, so I have like option to seasonal visa. It's like the training visa there is. So we are applying for that, then we are given the interviews, and the also timing is like there is in the morning 7, and here in India it's be like midnight, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So we need to wake up that time, and we will given our interviews. After that, like we are waiting for all of these things. If you passed in interviews, after that you need to take appointment in embassy. Then you have the lots of the questions of the list they have. You need to be clear that. After that, there is a chances like your visa will be going decline. It's not sure.
So basically, Bosnia is very...
It's easy, really. Believe me, from Bosnia, like their process are so easy for us. We came like 4 in 5 months here.
Okay.
In July.
Well, I want to hear what Aida has to say to this.
It's easy for the workers.
Exactly. At least it's easy for
one employer. The things that the workers don't actually see are the things that the employees are doing prior to their arrival.
I want to say, just to interrupt you, while we've been working on this topic and speaking to people throughout the region, I've heard people say multiple times that employers are the ones who are leading these
the whole
processes in the Balkans. So I want to maybe hear more about that. What made you have to lead these processes?
Leading the whole process, but we still do not have clear guidelines. Like we do not have clear guidelines. Okay, you need to do this, these are the steps. You need to fulfill these requirements or this. We are encountering many problems along the way, which we don't know. So basically the whole process from the beginning, from the receiving the first CV till the end is on us. All the risks are also on us, on the employers. If something happens, if the worker comes and he doesn't like the ambience, maybe he doesn't like the atmosphere, maybe he doesn't like, I don't know, the weather or something else. His family is having some problems. For example, we had a beautiful lady, a nice worker on our housekeeping. She was smiling. She was so happy to come to Bosnia. We lost about 4 months fulfilling all these requirements for her to get to Bosnia, and then she came after 15 or 20 days. She said, "I'm pregnant." And we were like, what to do now? She didn't even tell us that she was pregnant. We had so many interviews. She just came like that. And then she said, I need to go back because my family is back there. I need to go back to my country. And these are all the problems that we encounter. One worker came and he was working, he was a cook, he was working maybe 10, 15 days, and he fell and he broke his leg. And he had a very tough surgery where he needed to do, you know, some 3 or 4 months recovery. And that was, again, a problem where he needed to go back. So these are all the risks that we, by ourselves, as the employers, take, and we know them before applying for these visas. Before maybe 2, 3 months, I was on some casual coffee with my cousin. He's the owner of Bosnian House in Dubai. This is one of the famous restaurant Bosnian houses in Dubai where they sell like Bosnian traditional dishes. And we were speaking about these problems and he said, oh my God, how come in Dubai it's so easy? We literally have this application where we choose the workers and I don't know who to choose from. They are so good, they are so nice. We literally upload everything through the application, the documents, and it goes so easy. I was like, oh, listening to him and thinking about all the things that I have done for one worker. Especially that Bosnia, as I come from the travel sector and tourism sector, which was blooming in the last 10 years. And basically, us as an industry were not ready to receive all these tourists and all this travel blooming and tourism blooming that happened to us. And I remember us saying maybe 4 or 5 years ago, even more, what will happen when all these tourists start coming to Bosnia and we are not ready with the workers? We don't have enough cooks. We don't have enough receptionists. We don't have enough housekeeping. We don't have enough waiters. What will happen? Back then we didn't have foreign workers, but this is what happened. And that was the only way that we could survive, that we could accept all these travelers and tourists that are coming to Bosnia, and at the end, just hope that everything will come to an end and everything, both sides will be satisfied, and that's a big risk for all of us.
Absolutely, and maybe for the last round of questions, integration as a topic is obviously extremely important in this whole process, and probably one of the most long-term effects that it has. So, Mr. Omehani, what kind of integration model does IOM want to see here in Bosnia with the current Bosnian conditions and with all the conditions that the foreign workers bring?
Sure. As the data reflects that we are seeing more and more foreign labor coming into the workplace, there's a number of considerations. One is that we want to ensure, as part of the integration effort, that there are guardrails against exploitation, and that there is a stronger focus in terms of the monitoring of the conditions for the migrant labor, both in terms of the workspace, the residence, and that there is a stronger focus on overall integration efforts. Echoing the point earlier, so much of this still falls on the employer in order to make the environment conducive. There has to be a continued focus in terms of making sure that there are protections in place with respect to human rights, and that the migrants have access to all the required legal tools and resources upon arrival in order to make sure that they are also aware of what and the resources that they can avail. With respect to the cohesive aspect, I mean, there are a number of best practices. One of them that IOM pursues is education and capacity strengthening within relevant government actors, media, civil society organizations, the private sector, in terms of how to positively engage with migrants. What we find is that for those individuals who come from a variety of different backgrounds, once present within BIH and actively engaged under the right conditions with residents of the country, there is a strong understanding that develops between the foreign migrant as well as the national resident with respect to why that individual is here, how they contribute to the economy, and how they add value. It's how this engagement takes place that matters. It's how there is sufficient investment in terms of the overall environment with respect to social media, regular media, on what messages are being portrayed. And what we see is there's always a level of disinformation, but more importantly, if there is sufficient investment and emphasis on the data, it will reflect that the majority of employers recognize that there's a demand, and that the majority of individuals whom you engage with will recognize the value added by these skilled foreign laborers who come in. I'll just close then on another point that's also important, is recognizing those communities within which this foreign labor resides or works. What steps are taken in order to educate communities about the benefits of these individuals coming and contributing to the overall economy? These are particular points that should not just fall on the employer. And this is where IOM is taking an active role with government partners and with media and other relevant stakeholders to consistently put forward the message that this is a value-added relationship with respect to the inclusion of these foreign laborers, and that the tremendous asset that they represent can't really be fully exploited unless there is an opportunity for them to feel welcome, and that they belong, and that they understand from a cultural aspect the language, the local culture, and that they are in a position to contribute fully.
Maybe ask you, Prashant, about how do you, everything Mr. Omehani just said, how do you fit into all these? Have you learned the language? Do you feel like you belong? What's the sentiment in regards to you being a part of the society now?
When I came here, so everyone like listen our language, like we speak English. So when we going to the touch of the guest or something, so like they told us how it's possible. They are like they are think like it's something is going to be magic. Oh, we have these armbands. Oh, wow. Oh, that time I feel like I need to learn first the language. Then we are going to be friendly, and believe me, I speak Bosnian, but not more. From my work, I know how to deal with that. So I speak the language, but when I'm going to socially like this conversation, I can't speak more. But as for my work, I know how to talk in Bosnia, and when I go to the guest and I take everything orders and I serve them. After that, they ask, "Odakle City." It means that from which country you are. And then when I say Indieski, so they are going to be happy. Oh, from India. Then after that, they have questions like my staff or sometimes my directors, because they ask me like, why you given more time there? You have too much work. I say, what I do? They listen me in Bosnian and they said sakachas. These all the words.
You are good.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
I came last year here in July 24.
At the end, you'll be speaking Bosnian fluently.
We'll do another episode of this in Bosnian in a year or two time.
I think I will be learn more words than I will be used with you, all of you.
And just for the end, Aida, what part can employers play in this extremely important process of integration?
I must say one more thing, that our local employees started to behave a lot better and take us employers more seriously after the employers from the foreign countries started coming, because about a year ago it was something that was, it's not even possible to explain how the workers have been behaving, especially in tourism industry. If I tell you that previously you could not imagine that one cook doesn't show up at work, that one waiter doesn't show up at work without any knowledge, without letting you know, that one receptionist doesn't come to work. Now it's slowly coming to an end because they saw that they are replaceable, that there is a good replacement for their job, and now they are taking the business and their job more seriously. So basically, I hope that this would be one impact that's where we have the collaboration between all of us, all the stakeholders, the government, the civil society, the employers, the employees, especially the travel sector, the tourism sector, which drives all the other 67 industries along with it, and to make some great cooperation to make the whole process easier. I don't say we should have the process like Dubai, like we could even imagine that we could employ someone on one click, but a lot of these things could be made up easier for us, for the employers. For example, we have been waiting for Pino Hotel now for 4 or 5 workers coming from Bangladesh. And we are still now in some panic because we started the process before 3-4 months. We are already going into our high season, because the high season is the summer season now, starting from 15th of June, July, August, September. And we are already entering the high season and they still didn't arrive. So we are in a small panic. When will they arrive? Will all the papers be fulfilled? When they arrive, will they be adequate for the work that we have been preparing for them? So these are all some small obstacles, but we are surviving.
Well, let's then finish with the we are surviving, and hopefully we survive this. I hope that we've opened discussion of these topics that are crucial in the years to come. So thank you, Mrs. Terzic, Mr. Omehoni, and Mr. Tiwari. Thank you for speaking to Al Jazeera Balkans.
Thank you very much.